Well, last week, we made the decision to love. Love was our decision. And then we asked for that power of love to be quickened or strengthened within us. And last week we learned 2 steps of becoming more loving from Your God-Given Potential by Winifred Hausman. And so we know that learning these steps, we said, to becoming a more loving person was going to take practice, practice, practice. So how many of you have been practicing this past week to be more loving? Oh, good, good. That's great. Now, whenever we think about human love and human relationships, it doesn't happen unless, first of all, we have an interest in another person. We're going to look across that crowded room, and our eyes are going to meet, and then we have an interest in that person. And so we might find ourselves walking across that crowded room just so we can go over and talk to that person to see if there's further interest. And so perhaps there would be a date if there is enough interest there, or a get-together, or going out for coffee. And if the chemistry is right, then we would go to the next step, which is to become acquainted. So then that would provide more dates, more time together, because now the chemistry is really beginning to work. And so we've made a deeper acquaintance. When we make that deeper acquaintance with our potential love match, we find then that there is an attraction. And so we go on a few more dates. This is really being good. And pretty soon, it comes to affection. And we know what affection's all about. In loving relationships, a lot of kissing and hugging. And there's such an attraction there, finally, that we decide that there is affection. And so that begins pushing us and leading us like a magnet across that bridge of love to where we're going to find this divine love. However, this is the place where we need to just stop for a moment and call upon our power of wisdom, which is located in our gut area. See, this is a body-brain area, according to our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. And he was talking about this back in the 1930s. A body-brain. And now, scientific research is showing us that there is a connection between our human brain and our gut. You've all heard about that gut reaction. But also, this is the power of wisdom center. And so, it also is important to call upon that heart area, that love, and put those two together. In the 12 powers, this is called the love center that's governed by John, and the wisdom center that is governed by James. And those are called brothers of thunder. So when we're on that road going over that bridge to love, you know, sometimes we just go headlong and we don't call upon that power of wisdom. And what happens when we don't call upon that power of wisdom, especially in human relationships? We all know what happens. It doesn't turn out so well, does it? Because, see, we're being drawn like a magnet across that bridge. But if we call upon our power of wisdom And we find this is truly, truly a love relationship. We go across that bridge of love. And then when we get to the other side, we can identify with our beloved. We have eyes for only our beloved. And then that hopefully will lead to a union or a marriage. And that's when we have the sacrament of being as one at one-ment. Now, that's on the human scale. Let's talk about the spiritual aspect of love. It's almost the same way. First of all, you have an interest in God the good. You have an interest to see if these unity principles really work. You've heard about it. You've heard about the prosperity principles. You've heard about how you can heal yourself. You've heard about the law of attraction, how good is going to come into your life. So you have an interest to go further. You might even take a unity class to learn more because you have such an interest. And then you find that good is happening in your life. You find the parking spot that you've been praying about as you drive into the parking lot of, the mall. You find unexpected money that you didn't know when you go to your mailbox. There's a check. There's good flowing into your life. Unexpected surprises that fill you with joy. Now, it doesn't happen all the time. So you wonder, I want to go deeper. So the way to go deeper into this relationship is to make an acquaintance with God. And the way we do that is through prayer and meditation. There's no other way. It's our fourth principle. And so we begin a practice of prayer and meditation. And maybe sometimes nothing seems to happen during our meditation time. But we keep at it. We keep at it because we've made that connection with God. And making that connection continually through our practice, we come to a state of attraction. And then we begin to see that more and more good comes into our life. We are beginning to align with God more and more. Through this, we get to the point of affection. We have such an affection now for God the good as we see more and more good unfolding in our life. And that is almost like a magnet then pulling us across that bridge of love. Here again, remember to call upon the power of wisdom. Maybe if we didn't, maybe we would become fanatical and try to convert everybody to this wonderful good. But rather we do it through example of love. And so we walk across that bridge ready, willing, and able. So when we get across that bridge to love, we begin to identify with God the good. We identify that we are part of God. We identify that we are a part of God's great big family. And then finally, that leads us on the path to our last step, which is at one-ment. And when we get to that part, it would be well if we would remember the words of Jesus from John 17:23. Jesus says, I in them and you in me, that they may become completely one. This has been called the prayer of atonement by many. But in unity, we break down that word atonement and we call it at-one-ment. We are one then with God. We are one with God, there is no question about it, and we are able to express that Christ's love in each and every moment. It is our desire, it is our deep desire to express that love in the world. So as you look within yourself today, you might wonder, what step am I on currently? And it really doesn't matter where you are right now. You don't have to beat yourself up if you're back at acquaintance or if you're at attraction. At least you know the steps now. And so if you're not where you're at or where you would like to be, then this is what you can do today. And Kathy sang about it. Look for the love and the light in everyone. In everyone, not just your friends, not just here, but in everyone. Then love and light become bright, illuminating you and me. In a loving way, say namaste. I behold the Christ in you. God bless you.